Good morning, y'all. Hope everybody's week has started off nicely. Today, we're going to make my favorite meal in the world. Roast, chuck roast, and potatoes. Now, I know I have a video of a roast already on my channel, but that roast was one I made for a friend, and it's not the way I actually make my own. It's mostly the way I make my own, but not quite. So let's do this, because this is going to take 5 hours, and I'm hungry. So, crockpot's on high. Now, you can do this many different ways. Every part of this is optional. Starting with this brown gravy mix. You can get a low sodium pack also. You don't actually need this, but it does give some extra flavor. So that's the first thing we're going to do. Dump our brown gravy mix into the crock pot. Then we're going to take half a cup hot water, maybe 3/4 of a cup, and pour that in. And that's all the water we're going to use. Now, if you read the back of that gravy packet, it tells you to use a whole cup. You don't want to use a whole cup because you're going to have liquid from your potatoes, you're going to have liquid from your onion. And if you add too much water, you'll end up with a roast full of water. And that's not what we want. We want a roast full of gravy. Come on, get off there. Get in the water. There you go. Okay. So make sure that's good and whisked in. Now, to ensure that we have plenty of gravy, now, normally I don't measure this, but I'm going to measure it just for y'all. We're going to add 1 heaping tablespoon of all-purpose flour. Now, we're only adding 1 tablespoon because I'm only cooking half of this roast. It's only for me. And this is my one treat to myself once a month. I buy myself a roast. I cut it in half. And then I can have it to eat twice a month. Now, you want to make sure that flour is really well whisked in. You don't want lumpy gravy. Now, if you are going to make this whole roast, you want to use 2 tablespoons of flour. Just whisk it in really well. You could also add in a can of cream of mushroom soup now if you wanted to. But again, I'm going to cut this in half, and I just really don't need the cream mushroom soup because we made our own gravy. But if you're unsure that you can make gravy, even though it's really easy, just go ahead and dump your can of cream of mushroom soup in right now. Now then, you need salt. I have no idea how much. We'll say That's maybe half a teaspoon. Now you don't want to get crazy with the salt, and that is because that packet of brown gravy mix has a lot of salt in it. So just be careful. I'm gonna add a little bit of pepper, not a lot, not for roast. Well, we're going to add some garlic powder. Not a lot. I'd say 1/4 of a teaspoon. Don't want a lot of garlic in our roast either. Onion powder. No, we're going to add a lot of onion powder. I'd say a teaspoon. You can't have too much of this in a roast. Worcestershire sauce. We're going to add 1, 2, 3. That's it. Now, if you really like Worcestershire sauce, you can add more. But I recommend make it the first time with just 3 chugs of it. I personally, I like a little bit of Worcestershire, but I found that if I add 4 chugs, it's all I can taste. And I don't want to taste the Worcestershire. I want to kind of not know it's there. I want it to season, but I don't want that to be the only thing I taste in my roast. So just be careful with that stuff unless, like I said, like you really, really like it. Okay. That's it for seasonings. Now, really quickly, please don't fall over. Knife. Now y'all can't see what I'm doing. We're going to cut. This is a pretty big onion here. And again, since I'm only using half of a roast, I don't need a ton of onion. And cut enough of that off. Okay. See that big chunk? We'll say that's 1/3 of a, just say a regular size or medium size onion. That's all you do. Now, if you don't like onion, please trust me when I tell you, you've got to put that onion in this roast. Leave it just like that. Leave it in a huge chunk. And now, if you're going to make this whole roast over here, you want to put a whole onion. Just cut it in half, turn the 2 pieces face down. When the roast is almost done, you can fish it right back out and nobody will ever know it was in there. I did that for years with my kids. They had no idea I put onion in the roast until my daughter tried to make my roast and it didn't taste right. And that was because I didn't tell her about the onion. Now she's sold. Now she makes her roast with onion. Now she cooks a lot of other stuff with onion because she realizes how important it is to the flavor. And y'all got to trust me. It's so important to the flavor. Now, for the first hour, you might smell nothing but onion. But I promise you, you will never taste that onion. Just fish it back out at about, say, 4.5 hours. Get you a big spoon. Pick the whole chunk up in one. Throw it in the trash. Because it's useless by that point anyway. It's already released all its flavor. But you will not taste onion in your roast. I promise you. Okay. Now then. See our potatoes here? I love these little teeny tiny baby potatoes. I literally counted out 20, washed them, and we're just going to pour them right in. Now, I'm only using 20 because, again, I'm only making half of this roast. All right. Now, I'm going to tear my package open here and cut my roast in half. I'll be right back. So I thought I was recording, and I was not. Thankfully, I caught it in time, but here's my half a roast. As you can see, I tried to cut out some of the fat. These roasts, since the pandemic started, they got so much fat in them. Some months I just don't even buy one. They look terrible. But anyway, I cut some of the fat out. Obviously, you want to leave some in for flavor, but the last thing I want is, the top of my crock pot full of grease when this cooks up. So, a couple of points. One, you're probably going to smell onion for the first hour. Please don't panic. It will go away. And I swear to you, you will never taste onion in this roast. Two, it looks like you do not have enough liquid in there. I promise you do. Just trust me and trust the process. You're going to leave this alone for 2 whole hours. 2 hours. When you come in at 2 hours, just get you a little spoon and just see if you can try to stir a little bit around the edge, just to make sure none of your little gravy is sticking. And it's okay if it does. It will eventually dissolve, but I mean, that's just what I do. I just run up my spoon just around the edge, put the top back on, leave it alone. At 3 hours, come in, try to stir it, around the edge again. You can taste your gravy at the 3-hour mark, but I'm telling you, it's going to taste very salty. Do not panic. The salt just has not penetrated your meat or your potatoes yet. If you taste it again at 4 hours, it may taste like it's not salty enough, but it will be. You just gotta, when you're dealing with a crock pot, you just gotta let it, do its thing. Because let me tell you, I think the first time I did this in a crock pot, well, no, that's not right, because I cooked it in a slow cooker for many years, but I know at least once I came in here and made the mistake of tasting that gravy at 2 hours, and I thought, oh my gosh, I have destroyed it. And, at 4 hours, I tasted it again, and I could barely taste salt at all. So just trust the process. And all right, now at 4 hours, this will be done, but it will be very tough. So you got to let it cook for 5 hours, and this will fall apart. Now at the 4-hour mark, like I said, now your meat will have shrunk a good bit by then. And if you can see your onion sitting down in there, you can just get you a big spoon and just go ahead and fish it out. Throw it in the trash. It's used up already. It's done released all this yummy into your stuff. But I promise you, you will never taste that onion. You won't know the onion was in there at all if you just take it out. It will not taste. You will be able to tell it's missing something if you leave that onion out. Let me put it that way. No amount of onion powder you use can replace the actual onion. Y'all, please try this. If you like roast, you've got to try this. I will be back in a couple of hours to show y'all what it's doing. And then in 5 hours, we're going to dig in. Okay, bye. Hey, y'all. We're at the 2-hour mark. Oh, it's beautiful. But, okay, just to show you, you see how much liquid we got in there now? And it's only been 2 hours. And that liquid will continue to go up, and it will thicken up as it goes. So we're going to come back in an hour at the 3-hour mark, and I'll taste it. It looks good, don't it? All right, y'all. Oh, we're at the 4-hour mark. And now you can see just how much liquid has come up in here. Now that your potatoes have put off their liquid, now that your onion has put off its liquid. In fact, I'm trying to do this with too small of a spoon. I'm going to put it here, then I'll throw it away. I'm going to drop it all over the floor if I try to do this now. But just to show y'all how easy it is to get that onion out if you don't like onion. Of course, right now I'm actually making it look harder than it is. You can use tongs. Anyway, onion all gone. Now it's nothing but your roast and your potatoes. And when I tell you this is heavenly, now you can add carrots. A little piece of onion. You can absolutely add carrots to this. the flavor will change a lot. That's why I don't add carrots to mine. It makes it sweet, and I don't like a sweet roast. I want a savory roast. Now I'm gonna try this gravy we made. Mmm. Mmm. Oh, that's delicious. Now, it still seems a little bit salty to me right now, but I know an hour from now, when I go to actually eat this, now that those potatoes have put off their liquid, they will have absorbed a lot of that salt too. Doesn't that look good, y'all? Oh, I'm so ready. I'm starving. Okay, one more hour and then we're digging in. Here we go, y'all. 5 hours. Show y'all how tender this is. Plastic spoon. That's way too much for me, but I'm gonna try to eat it anyway. Potatoes. Gravy. I'm making a mess. Turn it off. Plug it. That's heaven in a bowl. Y'all please make this. Thank you for watching.